This episode of Test Drive is brought to you by Elmec and their EV Duty Smart Home Charger.
Well, folks, it's the end of fall here in Quebec. It is cold. I've got 3 layers on. I am freezing, and it's usually a bad sign because I am such a warm person that if I'm cold, that's a big problem. And it's a great opportunity for us to test a vehicle that doesn't often get a lot of cold weather testing. This is the perfect place to do it. Our spotlight is on this 2021 BMW X3 xDrive30e. This is a plug-in hybrid electric SUV with an advertised range of about 51 kilometers, fully electric. At least that's according to BMW's press release. However, we're looking at about minus 10 degrees Celsius temperature that we've been averaging over the last few days, and that's before wind chill, and we're seeing a total range of about 20 kilometers with this vehicle. Now, the base MSRP for this is $59,990 Canadian. We have quite a number of options on this to bring it up to $75,735, or about $10,000 more than a similarly equipped X3 xDrive30i. It's important to note, though, if you go with the premium package enhanced like we have here, you don't get the Harman Kardon audio system that you would on the gasoline version. You have to pay more for that. There are a few other options on this that you have to pay for, whereas you get them included with the regular gas version. So it does cost a little bit more, but depending on how much driving you're doing with that electric range, you might be able to see some savings. BMW says that they estimate anywhere between 2.1 and 2.4 liters per 100 kilometers of fuel savings with this plug-in hybrid system. We'll be talking about our fuel economy testing as we take it on a road test and how we fared in our real-world environment here in the middle of early winter. It does have a 12 kilowatt hour lithium-ion battery. About 9 kilowatt hours of it is usable. The rest of it is saved for the drive system. And it also has a tow rating of about 2,000 kilograms or 4,400 pounds. The overall performance is a little bit better than the xDrive30i, 288 horsepower combined, and the vehicle can do up to 310 pound-feet of torque in hybrid mode. Now, while this vehicle does come equipped with the M Sport package, I would probably skip it. Even though the look of it is fantastic, I just think if you're buying a plug-in hybrid electric BMW, it's better just to go with the basics. You want to have the best ride and comfort. You're not buying it for sportiness. And while it does pick up pretty well, it's no contender against the M40i M Performance vehicles, but you do get more power than the regular xDrive30i. So it depends on what you're looking for. I think that this will sell pretty well, especially here in Quebec, where you do find a lot more electric vehicle sales than elsewhere in the country. Direct competitor to this would be the Volvo XC60 T8 that we featured about 2 years ago. It has a similar battery and similar features, and it is in the luxury segment. That will get pricey as well, depending on how you configure it. Now, if you want to know everything about the G01 and BMW X3, I do suggest taking a look at the video that we did on the BMW X3 M Competition. We took that vehicle to Toronto, so we had a pretty good idea of how it was on a longer term basis than we would normally have with BMWs. But if you want to know everything about the plug-in system, stay tuned with this. We're going to go on our road test, take it on the drive, and see what else you need to know if you're in the market for a $75,000 plug-in hybrid electric luxury SUV. Well, folks, the weather is very deceiving. There is no snow on the ground, but my gosh, it is cold out. I am not enjoying it, and neither is this X3 because we're not getting very good range because of how cold it is, and this is only the start of winter here in Quebec. We did 6.3 liters per 100 kilometers on our test loop. We went about 19 kilometers before the gas system had to kick in, and that was on a full charge. Not exemplary numbers, unfortunately, but it's similar, close to what we did with the most comparable vehicle that we've done in this segment, the 2019 Volvo XC60 T8 Inscription. We did that in 5.9 liters per 100 kilometers, so a little bit off, not too bad overall. The Volvo has a bigger engine. It uses a twin-charged, supercharged and turbocharged engine, producing more power than the 288 horsepower out of this BMW. But if you're going for a plug-in hybrid, I don't think you really need 400. This has been plenty enough. I have driven this as much as possible in what BMW calls max eDrive. You can configure the car to start up in that way, and it'll use the battery as much as it can before it drains out, and then it switches over to the gas/hybrid system. And it's been pretty good. For a plug-in hybrid, this has been what I would want out of a vehicle. It's sort of a set it and forget it. I don't have to worry about fiddling around with things. It just works. The only thing you really miss out on, and there's no brake system, there's no brake mode. You can't, put the car into a brake mode, so when you let go of the gas, it will charge up the battery a little bit more than you normally would. This will coast, and you can charge up a little bit when you use the brakes, which is fine. There just isn't a mode. That's really the only thing about this that doesn't tick all of our boxes when it comes to a plug-in or electric vehicle. Everything else works. We have good scheduling through here. We can run the car while it's plugged in, or at least run the HVAC systems. You can schedule the HVAC systems to come on at a specific time. We've got it set up so that it comes on every morning, but then you also have the option to have it come on at a specific time. If you want to override that daily or whatever schedules you have set up, you can have it set up for once. And then everything else works really well with the charging port. You can plug it in, you can lock it so that nobody can steal it. The port itself will lock, the cover for it, so nobody can come in and damage it. The only thing that I found it's been a bit annoying, especially for me filming this thing, with most cars you turn it on, if you get out of it, it'll stay running. Because this is an electric, and even though it's an electric, it won't. Every time I have the car running and I open the driver door, it's like, okay, we're done. That's it. We're turning everything off. You can push the auto button, or you can put on the pre-scheduling or preconditioning for the HVAC system, but essentially everything turns off. I guess it's a security feature. You can't steal the car, so there's no way for you to open the driver door and have somebody drive off with it. That's a plus. It's just annoying for somebody like me who is filming the vehicle, and I want to keep it warm in here while I'm outside, out and about, but also annoying too if you're running into the store, you've left your family in the car, an adult in the passenger seat that can be there in case there's a problem, turns off everything, so you got to go in and turn back on preconditioning. But aside from that, all the plug-in stuff has worked out really well. I've been very happy with this. The ride is so smooth. Compared to the BMW X3 M Competition, makes a ton of sense. This is meant to be a comfort vehicle, and it really is. Going around the corners, taking off from a start, everything is just so effortless, so smooth, and so controlled. I'm so happy with it. There really is nothing else that I would want out of a vehicle. I don't need this to be a performance car. And that's why I said I would skip the M Sport package just to save a little bit on cost, but then to get the most comfort out of it. It is really smooth. You miss out on a couple small features by not getting the gas model. As I said, you have to pay a little bit more. That $10,000 price difference between this and the 30i could be a little hard to bite, but I think the people who are looking at this segment anyway, you can afford it. You can afford to take the price hit on that and then still have a plug-in. In town, it's been good. I've been able to drive back and forth, drop my daughter off at school, do any local errands, fully electric. As of right now, I've done 62.4 fully electric kilometers since starting off with this vehicle, which isn't bad. You're going to be using the gas if you take it any further than that 20 kilometers, but still, it's a plug-in hybrid. BMW has done a great job incorporating what they've learned from the i3 and i8 into a vehicle that's a lot more mainstream. And once that new iX3 comes out, oh boy, that is going to be a killer. Having the same size vehicle as this with a full electric system is going to be great. Because the one thing you lose out on, aside from some of the little features, as I mentioned, you have to pay more for, the trunk space is a little bit smaller. It's a couple inches less than you would get on the regular gas version. There's a floorboard that sits about 2 inches higher in the back to have the battery equipment back there. So there's a small storage space underneath that floorboard, but you do lose out on some space. But overall, if you're using this as a family hauler, getting groceries, whatever it may be, whatever you would buy an X3 for to begin with, this plug-in hybrid electric version will work out for you. And it goes to show me BMW has a good plan moving forward. They don't have the best plan. They are a little behind when it comes to the electric stuff, but this is a solid effort in this segment, getting pretty average results when it comes to the battery system, plus the added benefit of all BMW's engineering over the course of their entire run built into a car that sells like crazy. This is a seriously nice plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. If you're in the market for it, comparing this to the Volvo or the Mercedes GLC, you're going to be looking at this one for sure. Doesn't necessarily need to be the sporty option. It is the comfortable one.